السلام عليكم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وأفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم علمنا ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما يا أرحم الراحمين. We have talked about one of the characters of the Muslim, which is al-Ikhlas. Muslim needs to acquire this character, this hope in himself, purification of his work, of his deeds, to be all for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Today we're going to read the hadith that is in that meaning. And this hadith is considered 1/3 of the knowledge about Islam, because once you know this hadith and you practice it, basically everything else falls in place. عن عمر بن الخطاب رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إنما الأعمال بالنيات وإنما لكل امرئ ما نوى. Sayyidina Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu anhu narrated that Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, surely and definitely all deeds are rewarded according to the intention, and all the deeds has to be specified based on the intention. When a person does something, he will get what he intended that thing for. So today we are going to go very quickly about the purification of your intention, but we will emphasize more on what happens if a person does not have purity in his intention, does not work on his heart to purify his work, his good deed, his talk, and he is not sincere with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when it comes to work. This hadith in particular is you can find it in almost every book in older scholars, because they consider it very important to teach or to bring the attention, to bring it to the attention of the people, that this hadith is very important to know before they read their book. So many scholars, they put the hadith that, your work based on your intention, and Allah will accept your deeds based on your intention if it is for His sake only. They put that hadith in the beginning of their book, so you will know, you will get ready to read the knowledge, read the book, and their book, whatever it is, on fiqh or tafsir or seerah or something, so you will know and practice based on that. And the Arabic word innama definitely means is exclusively, means only, securely, surely, means that your deeds are so tied to the intention that you make that they are inseparable. There is no deed without intention. You either go to Hajj to make Hajj, for example, or you go to Hajj to make tijara and business and sell items. You go and pray because you love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or you pray because you want people to see that, oh, mashallah, he pray and he is young or old, or he does really read Quran very good. The second part of the hadith, this is what I want to go over. The second part of the hadith that we need to go over today, that it is that when you do something for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you need to have specific intention to the best specific detail, to the minute detail. For example, you go to the masjid and you go ahead and you raise your hand, you say Allahu Akbar and you start praying. Okay, well, that is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala love this prayer from you, but you need to say, okay, this prayer is tahiyyat al-masjid, it is for entering the masjid, or this is sunnah before you before the salah, or this is sunnah al-duha, for example, if it was at that time, or this is istikhara, or what kind of what what is this rak'ah, 2 rak'ah, for example, you praying is for. And the same thing, if you missed a few days, some days from Salah or something, and then you started making up, and you say, okay, Allahu Akbar, I want to pray 4 rak'ah. In your heart, you say, I want to pray 4 rak'ah, but this is 4 rak'ah for what? Isha or Zuhr or Asr? You have to specify. So basically, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to have our mind when we want to do something. You want to make sure that you're focusing your attention to what you're doing to make sure that you're doing the right thing for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not about making it difficult. It's just making about you have to be ready. You have to make sure that you are prepared, without any comparison. Astaghfirullah lillah al-mathal al-a'la. But when you go to a meeting, we have to have the books, you have to have numbers, you have to have statistics and details and reports, and all these things have to get together before you enter the meeting, or else what is the purpose of showing up there if you don't have anything ready? Okay, and same thing, not same thing, astaghfirullah. If you want to go to pray and you don't know what's going on and your mind is somewhere else, and what is this 4 rak'ahs going to be for? Like unfortunately, one person, he missed. He does not pray often. He prays some days, and he does not pray some days. So when he comes to the masjid or whenever he pray, he say, this is 4 rak'ah, ya Allah, put it anywhere you want. No, this is not acceptable. Allah will not, does not work for you to put it anywhere you want. It's not about that. You need to be accountable for what you did. You have to learn that if I miss Dhuhr, I want to make up the Dhuhr. If I miss Asr, I want to make up Asr. And if you miss Dhuhr and Asr, okay, now go ahead, and when you pray 4 rak'ah, you have to specify, is it Zuhr, Asr? The angels don't have to work for you. They don't have to look for which salah you missed, or just fill in the spaces. So this is the meaning, or this is the understanding of the second part of the hadith, that إِنَّمَا لِكُلِّ امْرِئٍ مَا نَوَى. That means everyone has to be very specific in his intention to what he's doing. So let's go back, and since we talk about purification of the niyyah, we're going to talk about how do you know that you have ikhlas in your niyyah, your pure intention. Your intention is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There are a lot of several signs that can say how you are sincerely and doing this thing for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One of the thing is, for example, you read Quran with a nice voice, but when you read it, you don't read it so people can say, MashaAllah, this young person read Quran so good, or MashaAllah, this Imam, I love his voice. It is okay to have a good voice. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave this person this quality. It's a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's barakah. We're not arguing about this, but what we're talking about that the person himself should not read the Quran so people can compliment him on his voice, because his voice is not from him, it's from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He definitely had practiced, yes, but his ability to be in that standard is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If it was not from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, everybody would have been the same. They have the same ability to have the same voice or better even. So it is barakah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is specific gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if the person did not realize that his voice, for example, is a blessing from Allah, it's sad. It is sad that he's wasting his time, because he's not going to get any reward in the hereafter. All he's going to get is the compliment from this dunya. There are three people in the day of judgment Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will start the hellfire with three people. Who are those three people? One of them is a scholar, one of them is shaheed, a martyr, and one of them is a rich person who gave money for the sadaqah. So the person who have sadaqah, who is rich and he was paying sadaqah and building masajid and giving the poor, and he was always making hajj and coming back and all that, he comes to Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala send him to hellfire. He said, Ya Allah, I always have spent money in your sake, and always give the poor and always build masjid. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will tell him, you have built masjid, so people will say this masjid was built by you, by so and so, and that was said. And you have given the poor, so people can say, mashallah, he's generous, helping the poor, and that has been said. And the same thing goes to everything you have done. You have got your fame in this dunya. You have got your reward in the dunya. So you are in the akhirah, you have nothing. So you go to hellfire. Now, the martyr he say, Ya Allah, I fought for your sake and I was killed in the battlefield. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, no, you were fighting so people can say, MashaAllah, he's brave, he sacrificed himself for the sake of Allah. Look at him, he's strong. So that was something that you were asking for. You were asking for people to compliment you, and the people compliment you. They wrote in the books that you have been so brave and you killed so many people and you did so, and that was it. You got your reward in the dunya from the people that you were asking for. Your intention was not sincere to me, so go to hell, go to the hellfire. And then the third person is a scholar. He said, Ya Allah, I have known all the knowledge. I have read the Quran. I taught the people. I've done everything I can do to spread your word and raise the banner of Islam. He said, no, you are lying. You were teaching the Quran so people can say, oh, mashallah, he reads Quran well. And you were you were teaching the book of knowledge so people can say that you're knowledgeable and you know everything. So now the people in the dunya have said that you are a scholar, and mashallah, everybody come and respect you and pay pay attention to you and come to your circle and everything. But that was in the dunya. In the dunya, you did all the good deeds to have fame. So, and people gave you the compliments. They wrote in the books that you are a big scholar and everything. So your reward was done. You're given your reward in the dunya. You have nothing to show me in the akhirah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put him in the hellfire first. So those, we have to be really, really careful about what we do in our life. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can accept it in as for his sake. So how do we know that we're doing something for Allah? Try to do it when nobody can see you. Okay? Do you pray at night? Do you pray, for example, at the time that your dad or mom is not seeing you? Do you pray when your friends don't see you? Um, do you give money to charity without other people see that you paid? Uh, this is a thing. Do you expect people when you do something right? Do you expect people to say thank you? Once you do that, Allah, this is for you are doing this for the people. If you did something really good and everybody knew about it, and you did not get any compliments, if you feel sad, that means you did not intend this for Allah. The person who intends things for Allah, he does it and forget that because he sent it to his deposit box in the akhirah. Okay, whether people know about it or not, he doesn't. He's not paying attention. It is not of his concern to worry about whether people have paid attention to his good deeds or not, because he's working what with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not accept any partner. You don't say, okay, I'm gonna pray so I can meet this person and pray at the same time. Well, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not accept. If you wanna pray, pray for Allah. Meeting the person is different. It has to be a different, separate thing. Does not have to be. But okay, if I pray in the masjid, people will trust me and they will take me, will do business with me, or they will buy from my store or something. This is definitely not for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There are some ulama like Zayn al-Abidin Ali ibn al-Husayn ibn Ali ibn Abi Talib radiyallahu anh used to work at night, deliver food to the poor people, so people don't see him. So to avoid all these kind of fame or compliments that people say about him, and some of the people who are receiving, they don't even know who is that, and they did not know until he died. When he died, they, the food stopped coming, and they were like, "What happened? Where is the food?" So they found out that this person was, Al-Hasan, Ali ibn al-Husayn ibn Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu, used to deliver the food for them. So, mashallah. Now, one last thing we need to say is, if a person went to Hajj, for example, and during that trip, he was going there for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. However, he found something that he could do business with and he could benefit from. That's different, because the intention in the beginning, starting, it is pure to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He was not planning, he was not thinking, he was not doing the business. He was going for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what happened after that, it might be taken some of his reward, But that's up to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But in the beginning, his was pure intention to do the ibadah, which is very important in making anything in all our life, in all our deeds. And there are a little bit more things about Riya, which is showing off. I believe we have talked about the sincerity more, pretty enough today, and we can discuss the showing off topic sometime in the future, inshallah, as needed. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله العظيم لي ولكم ففوز المستغفرين. Okay, now, anybody have any question? Let me repeat the hadith because you were not here when the hadith when I said the hadith. The hadith is عن Umar ibn al-Khattab, who is big Sahabi. He is the second Khalifa. Okay, رضي الله عنه. He narrated that Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, إنما الأعمال بالنيات وإنما لكل امرئ ما نوى, which translate into surely and definitely your deeds are exclusively tied and connected with your intention. Okay, so everyone, when he does something, it has to be pure to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it will be according what he intend. If he intend to pray 4 rak'ah zuhr, then it is 4 rak'ah zuhr. If he intend to say, okay, 4 rak'ah asr, it is 4 rak'ah asr. If he say, it is 4 rak'ah, Ya Allah, and Ya Allah, do anything you want with it, that is not acceptable. Because the angels don't know what to do with it. They don't have a place that's called anything you want. You have to specify this 4 rak'ah is for what? Zuhr or Asr or Isha or something. Or Nafila, Sunnah or something, or Taraweeh, whatever. So this is how details a person have to be. Now, do you have any question, Sheikh Rayan? Anybody have any question? Wa alaikum salam.
I don't have any questions. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Allah ma'akum, ma'a salam. We'll see you next week, inshallah. Okay, good night, inshallah. Allah barak fikum. Jazakum Allahu khairan. We'll see you Monday. Ma'a salam.
Salam. Also,
Alaikum salam.
we have been forgetting about the meetings.
Okay. الله يجزيك خير.
بس كمان يعني شوي كبير يعني بس انا عم بقول لك رايي.
معلش انا بدي احط انا بدي احطه على الانترنت لانه
هدول بس عيله واحده يعني ولاد.
هدول يوم 2
بالعاده
4